Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time for a new album review on the channel, and this time I'm reviewing some new shoegaze and dream pop from the band Blushing. This is their third LP titled Sugarcoat, which came out last week on the 3rd of May via K9 Records, and the album is 11 tracks and around about 34 minutes in length. So in this band you've got two couples, you've got Christina Carmona and No Carmona, and you've also got Michelle Soto and Jacob Soto. And you know, on first listen to this band, they immediately reminded me of the band Lush, because they have that dual vocal setup, a la, you know, like Emma Anderson and Nikki Burenyi, except here you've got Michelle Soto and Christina Carmona doing those sort of dual female vocals on this album, and doing them very, very effectively. So one thing I would say is, yes, although this is a callback to that classic sound, and some people say it derives a lot from that classic sound, I would say that this band do that sound justice and really pay respect to it, I think, with what they've done. You know, the vocals are mixed in really well, and I think the way they're mixed into the different songs is done appropriately for those particular songs. I like the guitar sound on this album. I think there's some great fuzz, some great distortion, some wavy distortion in the style of bands like My Bloody Valentine. They also, coming from Austin, Texas, remind me a lot of the band Ringo Death Star as well. It may be that there's some sort of shoegaze revival going on in Austin, Texas, because I'm sure I've discovered a couple of other bands recently that are shoegaze from Austin too. So a couple of other things I discovered about this album was it was mastered by Mark Gardner of Ride. I also believe that Jeff Schroeder, former guitarist of Smashing Pumpkins, featured on this album for the song Seafoam as well. So there's another interesting fact about this album too. So it certainly does, as I say once again, it's very much a classic shoegaze sounding album like Lush from the early 1990s era. So let's go into some of the songs from this release by Blushing. So one of the first tracks on the album, Tamagotchi, do you remember those? Did anyone used to have a Tamagotchi? I used to have one in around the late 90s, 98 or 1999, can't quite remember when. And I was kind of addicted actually to my Tamagotchi when that came out. But that's a song which certainly, as I say, has very much a classic shoegaze sound and delivered very, very well. And I like that this one is a little different in the way they've set up the vocals and the arrangements of that in this song compared to some of the other tracks as well. Definitely has a slightly different sound to some of the later tracks on the album. Certainly a standout song for me on the album. Another definite standout song on this album for me is Seafoam, the track which features Jeff Schroeder, particularly for Christina Carmona's chorus in that song, which I really, really like. I think it's kind of got an authenticity about it, and for me it's a definite standout song. On the track Slice, another highlight for me on this album. I think a lot of my favourite songs are sort of stacked in the first half of this record. I really like the vocal performance of Christina once again, and I like the cool phaser effect that starts this track as well before it goes into some more cool fuzz. And yeah, I like the way that the fuzzy sound sort of appends the chorus in this song as well. Silver Teeth goes all wavy in true My Bloody Valentine fashion. One of my other favourite songs on this album is definitely the song Fizz, which sort of starts with a wavy distortion in the intro, but then sort of goes into this up-tempo bass and dream pop style. And it was, for me, one of the songs which I felt a need to go back to as soon as I'd listened to it, and one of the tracks on this album that I can see myself revisiting quite a lot. Pull You In Too, another track which I thought had that sort of dream pop style to it as well. You know, a little bit more up tempo, very cool sound and style to it, which again is a track I think which has some replay value to it as well. So final thoughts on this one, I think, would be that this is going to be out. If you enjoy that classic shoegaze sound, that classic Lush sound, then this is an album for you that I think you need to check out for sure. I definitely enjoyed this one. I liked the way they managed to pull in some variety into the songs, despite, as I say, drawing very much from that shoegaze sound of the 90s. And I think, therefore, it's very solid as a release. I think I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10. So do let me know your thoughts on this release from Blushing and what you thought of this album. How does it compare to maybe other shoegaze releases that we've had so far in 2024? I think it would be one of my favourites so far from this year for sure. And do drop in the comments what your thoughts are and what your favourite songs are maybe from this LP. Otherwise, until next time, until my next album review, from me, it's bye for now.